Give a piss about nothing but the time.
Drake makes a cut, gets the corner, look out, Kenyon Drake can fly, eludes the kicker, and will not be caught. Touchdown!
Welcome back into the Tide Talk podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stacey Blackwood, once again joined by my good buddy, Jake Thomas. Jake, what's up, bud?
Doing good, man. Just excited to be talking some more ball with you. And we're going to preview this Arkansas game coming up this week.
Yeah, big game for Alabama. They have a chance to clinch the West and, punch their ticket to Atlanta to face the Georgia Bulldogs. So it's a big game for Alabama, and hopefully they can accomplish that. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But first, as always, got to tell you about our friends at betonline.ag. Whether you want to bet on the NBA, the NFL, college football, college basketball, betonline.ag is the place to go for that. And if sports is not your forte, they have an online casino that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So if you want to play blackjack, roulette, just whatever, poker, you can head on over to betonline.ag and do that today. And if you sign up on their all-new mobile website and on your mobile device, you can receive a 50% welcome bonus if you enter promo code BELIEVE50. That's betonline.ag. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share, and then jump in the comment section and give us your score prediction for Alabama versus Arkansas. Really looking forward to the matchup and looking forward to reading the comments and interacting with you guys there. Also, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, just wherever you find great podcasts. All right, Jake, Alabama gets a big win against New Mexico State. Arkansas outlasts LSU in overtime, 16-13. What's your initial thoughts on this matchup with the Razorbacks?
Right now, Alabama's coming in really hot, and Arkansas is kind of, they're kind of lukewarm, I would say, right now. They was playing harder early in the year, and they've kind of had a slide there for a bit. And, I know Alabama struggled against LSU a couple weeks ago, but, LSU's playing with like a scorched earth game, team right now because they're just coming in with trying to win, and Orgeron's just trying to do everything he can just to upset somebody's, wreck somebody's season. But, right now, I think that the matchup favors us right now, and Alabama has a chance to, shut down something that we tend to struggle a bit, and that's a running and elusive quarterback. KJ Jefferson's really elusive, and he can run if he needs to. But overall, I think we can keep him contained. Man, I'm excited about the game because we have something to play for. We have something to play for every week, but this is going to be, a game that we're going to get up for because we have a chance to solidify the West for us.
Yeah, anytime you get a chance to punch your ticket to Atlanta, it's a big game, and like we mentioned, with a win against Arkansas, regardless of what happens the rest of the regular season, Alabama will be playing Georgia there in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. But yeah, I kind of have a feeling that this game could go a lot like the Alabama Ole Miss game went. Just simply because of the way Arkansas plays defense. Hopefully that Alabama offensive line can kind of get some movement on, they usually play a 3-down line front, get some movement on those guys and create some running lanes for Brian Robinson and, Trey Sanders and whoever else Alabama kind of throws out there at running back with all the injuries they have at that position. But I have a feeling that that's kind of how this game is going to go. KJ Jefferson will, bring some difficulties to this Alabama defense simply because he's a big dude. He's hard to bring down. I have a feeling they're going to rely on him a lot in that game to kind of keep the, Alabama's offense off the field. I think they're going to try to, use ball control to their advantage against Alabama and keep Bryce Young and, explosive playmakers like Jamison Williams on the sideline.
Absolutely. And, we alluded to it on our preview or our review of the game last weekend, again, Mexico State game. Alabama, this defense has gotten better each and every week. They're only averaging I believe you said around 2.2 yards per carry against, right now giving up. And, that may be an issue because their leading rusher, Arkansas's leading rusher last week was KJ Jefferson. So if they can't move, the ball early, especially running it, we can probably just pin our ears back and expect him to, like you said, make a play or throw it. And if, we can sit and wait on that all day. So I feel like Arkansas is going to try to, kind of find some running room early because it feels like they're going to need to.
Yeah, I think Alabama's gonna play an aggressive style of defense this week against Arkansas. They're gonna sell out against the run and force KJ Jefferson to beat them through the air consistently. And he may get 2 or 3 in the game, but it's going to take more than 2 or 3 to beat this Alabama team because as good as Arkansas is defensively, this Alabama offense is going to find ways to score points. The LSU game was an anomaly, Jake, where they only get 20 points in the game, but Bryce Young is too good. Jamison Williams is too good. John Mechie's too good. Brian Robinson's too good for this offense to, be held below around 30 points. So
Right.
I expect Alabama. I mean, the spread is sitting at 22 right now, Jake. What would you? And that's early spread. But what is your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that?
If Alabama plays like they're capable of, I believe we cover the spread. And I'll be the first to tell you on my other show, SEC After Dark. I kind of had a lull in not believing in this offense just because how kind of the play calling that Bill O'Brien had against LSU, and I didn't know if offensively if he did not make any changes, if they could cover I think that spread was, my God, 52.5 against
51 and a half.
Yeah, 51.5 against New Mexico. And I took New Mexico State, but I mean, they scored 60, how many Alabama scored last?
Is 59 to 3
59. So I mean, they almost scored 6 points. So I mean, offensively, I think we're going to be just fine. We had some emergence of some guys step up. Jaleel Billingsley and Cameron Latou is finally getting some confidence. So I'm not really worried offensively against Arkansas. My one thing I'm going to be watching, Sam Pittman is an offensive line guru. So I want to see how his offensive line holds up against our defensive front. See what he has for our blitz packages that we're going to be bringing in this week.
Right, that's exactly right. The Alabama defensive line is wreaking havoc against any offensive line that they played against this year. And Phil Mathis, Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Byron Young, LeBron Ray last week against New Mexico State had a really solid performance. So building that depth, and Tim Smith as well, building that depth along the defensive line, playing better up the middle with Christian Harris and Henry To'oTo'o. This defense is playing really good right now, and I'm expecting them to continue that against Arkansas and KJ Jefferson and that physical attack that they play with on offense. So that matchup is going to be a lot of fun to watch. As far as the spread, the total's sitting at 56.5, the spread at 22. So that's going to be tough for Alabama to cover there. I mean, that's over a 3 touchdown spread. So just slightly over that 3 touchdown mark. So that's pretty interesting. But like I said, I kind of see this going a lot in the way that the Alabama and Ole Miss game went. Maybe Alabama doesn't score quite as many as what they did against Ole Miss, and Arkansas probably doesn't score quite as many as what Ole Miss did in that game. So I'm expecting that style of game from Alabama where they come out early, impose their will, and really take the will of Arkansas out of the game early. But they're going to be a tough team to put out, Jake, because they've taken on the personality of Sam Pittman there as their head coach, and they're a tough team. They're resilient. They play hard. They play physical. So they're not going to be an easy out by any means.
Absolutely. And, honestly, it feels like, Arkansas come in really strong beginning of the season. Not really sure how big the win was against Texas now since they've lost 5 straight. But for them, that was a big win at the time. But to me, it seems like they left it all on the field for that Ole Miss game. And them coming up 1 point short, it kind of just took the wind out of their sails. And they just been kind of just treading lightly the last couple of weeks. I know that some people's going to have his guys fired up for this game. I mean, you're gonna get everybody's best shot from here on
Right.
out, and
Right.
I don't expect anything less because Alabama has built this standard that you know honestly national championship you got to beat Alabama to get win a national championship. That's just
Pretty
I don't
much.
care I don't care how bad offensively we've looked the last couple of weeks. We seem to be getting better, and defensively we've been lights out, but still. I know Georgia's really good, but still, they're going to have to beat Alabama to win that national
That's
championship they've
right.
been
I
wanting.
mean, you're right, Jake, and that's something that's kind of gotten overlooked. It's the national championship still runs through Tuscaloosa. I mean, if
Absolutely.
you want to win it, most likely you're going to have to beat Alabama to win it. I'm not saying you
Hmm.
beat them in the championship game itself, but along the way, you're
Hmm.
probably going to have to beat Alabama and Nick Saban to win a national championship. So that's a great point, and I'm really excited about the matchup with Arkansas because I think it's a good test for the Alabama offense because Arkansas is physical and well coached on the defensive side of the ball. And then defensively for Alabama, they're playing a physical running attack with a quarterback that's really difficult to bring down, that's really good running the football, and is capable of throwing the football, accurately enough to test your secondary. So it's a
Absolutely.
good test for this Alabama team and a chance for Alabama to, like you said, to clinch that West Division crown and punch their ticket to Atlanta. So I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun game, and I know Arkansas, like I said, is going to give us our best shot, but our guys going to be ready. The defense, like I said, has been playing outstanding the last couple of weeks. They are a much improved unit than they were at the beginning of the year,
That's right.
and offensively we've had some struggles, but we still got playmakers, and I expect those guys to start coming around. I mean, you can't say anything bad about JMO and Mechie and Bryce and Robinson, but it's the guys around them that's got to step up, like the offensive line, like
Yep.
Cameron Latu and Jalil Billingsley, and that third option out wide, somebody to be the next guy, that has a chance, to show his self. Overall, we're fine, and I think Alabama gets it done this week and move on to the Iron Bowl.
Yep, really excited about it. Really good matchup, like I said, for what I said earlier, a really good matchup for Alabama against Arkansas as far as being able to kind of figure out a little bit who you are as a
Right.
team, as we hit the final stretch of the regular season, just 2 games left before conference championship games happen, and then, we'll find out who's going to the playoffs. So still a lot to play for Alabama. Everything they want is still in front of them. And so there's plenty of opportunity to get better and prove that they're one of the top teams in the country. And we look
Hmm.
forward to those guys doing that this weekend against Arkansas.
Who's your offensive MVP this week? You believe?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Brian Robinson Jr. I think
Hmm.
he's gonna play a really good game. I think Alabama's gonna make a little bit more of a concentrated effort to feature him against this Arkansas defense. Uh, but yeah, I think he's gonna have a good game.
Uh, I would say if I had to pick one, I was going to say both tight ends, but I think Jaleel is getting ready to break out, and I could say the same about the two too. But
Yeah.
I think Billingsley is going to
Well,
be
if
a
either one of
breakout.
them do it, I'll give it to you.
But I think they're both getting ready to break out. But I think Jaleel is going to be a focal target this week,
Right.
especially since he seems like be getting his confidence back after catching a touchdown last week.
And for those of you who don't know, we're not allowed to pick Bryce Young as
Yeah,
MVP. And on
yeah.
defense, we're not allowed to pick Will Anderson. So defensively, Jake, who do you see stepping up and making a big impact on the game?
I'm going with a guy who has quietly had a great season, and he don't get a lot of love, but we have talked about him a couple times. But I'm going with JAD, Jalen Armour Davis. He's becoming a fan favorite of mine. I mean,
Yeah.
he don't do anything flashy, but he gets into plays, and he's got a couple of interceptions already this year. I expect him to be all over that field, and may have another one this week.
I'm going with the secondary player as well. I'm going with Jordan Battle. Battle's playing
Yeah.
his best football of his Alabama career. right now. He's in a stretch of games, starting with that game against Mississippi State, where he is playing at that level that we thought he could play at when he first signed with Alabama. So I'm expecting a big day from Jordan Battle.
That's a good one too.
All right, hey, that's going to do it for this preview episode for Alabama versus Arkansas. Look forward to the matchup on Saturday.
Yep.
Once again, this episode is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Make sure you sign up today. Use the promo code BELIEVE50 and receive that free money when you sign up and you make your first deposit. All right, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, jump in the comment section on YouTube, and give us your score prediction for Alabama versus Arkansas. All right, Jake, until next time, roll tide.
Roll Tide.